Good morning. Okay, today's lecture will be on graphing linear equations. I'm going to do two examples. Both in slope-intercept form. So one of the slopes will be an integer and the other slope will be a fraction, just because I want to cover a possible alternate way to find your x values for the, has to come and join the class. That's Soda Pop. We have a string tied here so that she can keep herself occupied. Okay, here we go. Let's start with the lesson. Okay, you're going to graph slope-intercept form. This is part one. The other part we will cover inequalities, graphing inequalities. So part one is with this equal sign. The other one will be with inequalities. Okay, slope-intercept form. Y is equal to mx plus b. M is a slope. I'm sorry, M is a slope, B is a y-intercept, right? Okay, now I realize you are capable of graphing, oops, sorry. You are capable of graphing the shortcut where you plot the y-intercept and then based on the slope, rise over run. Okay, here and for this assignment, no. I want the XY table. I want 3 numbers picked. I want you to show the substitution, find the Y values, and graph. Okay, when we start jumping in later on with the graphing, the systems, then yes, you can go ahead and go ahead with that shortcut, or y-intercept and then rise over run. But for now, I want your XY table because we're also going to be graphing off of standard form and XY intercept, and you have to do the XY table, okay? Okay, so we're going to graph this line y equals 3x plus 4. We're going to use XY table. Okay, so the XY table. Your x is the independent variable. Your y is the dependent variable. Okay, why is x independent and y dependent? Because we pick x values. We pick the left, and then based on the number we pick, by substitution and arithmetic, right, order of operations, we get a y value, right? So y is dependent on this x pick, this x number. So x is an independent variable, y is a dependent variable. Okay, you pick the numbers, whether they're positive, negative, 0. I know 0 is positive, but still. Okay, positive, negative, 0, or 1/2, 3/4, 1/3, whichever. Okay, she has to get out of the way. Okay, here we're going to go ahead and substitute this value, and the x value determines the y values from the equation. Okay? Okay, so here we go. Oh, she is not trying to play with the pen. You're ridiculous. Okay, oh, I'm sorry. You need to go. No, you need to go. Come on, look at her. She's mad. She's mad. Okay, I am so sorry. You're not. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and pick x values, and I'm just going to pick these 3 numbers. I'm going to pick a negative, a positive, which is a negative number, a positive number, and a 0. Okay, so I'll pick -2, 0, and we could just pick 1, right? Why get too fancy? Okay, you need to leave. You're on my stuff. No, please. Don't bite me. She won't leave. And I don't have 2 hands. Okay, so let's substitute. We're going to let x equal -2, and we're going to substitute it right there, correct? But I'm still going to rewrite the equation. Okay, so I'm going to substitute y equals 3x plus 4. So this -2 is going to get substituted right in here. And I know this is review for you, but that's the whole point of this, so that once we get into systems, we can just move on ahead. Okay, so I'm going to get y equals 3, -2 plus 4. Okay, order of operations states you're going to first go ahead and multiply, right? So you got to first multiply this. I just lost my cap. And so I get 3 times -2 is -6 plus 4. And then this you can go ahead and, I'm sorry, I dropped the cap. Sorry about that. Okay. Right, so here I'm going to go ahead and multiply. And now here then, I'm going to go ahead and just add, subtract, right? Just go ahead and throw that into a calculator. Now, if you want to throw it into a calculator, you may. So if, say, you wanted to put this into the calculator, you can. So I would type 3 parenthesis negative 2. Whoops, turn it on. That helps. Okay, so 3 parenthesis negative 2 parenthesis, right? And then it is plus 4, plus 4. And I'm going to get negative 2 as my answer, right? So verify. So now what is negative 6 plus 4? Well, since this is negative and this is positive, I'm going to go ahead and subtract. So 6 take away 4 is 2, but the bigger number is 6. So my leftover is negative 2. So I get negative 2, right? Okay, next one, let x equal 0. So I'm going to let x equal 0. And same thing, I'm going to go ahead and just substitute. And I know this one's really easy for those of you that understand it. You're just like 4. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and substitute that 0 into here, right? And you're going to first multiply, right? Order of operations, multiplication comes before addition. So I get 0 plus 4, which is just 4. And so I'll fill in my 4 there under the y. Okay, so now we're going to take let the x equal 1. All right, let x equal 1. So y, 3, you're going to substitute the 1. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw it in now, right? Hopefully you're okay with that. I'm going to multiply. So what's 3 times 1? I get 3 plus 4, and I get 7. Okay, so that's the substitution work. I want this work for the assignment that follows this. You're going to be asked to graph 4 linear equations. I want the XY table. Okay, if all you have is the graph, no credit. Okay, so now you're going to have these, correct? Okay, now what you have to understand is on an XY table, I'm going to rewrite it just because I have so much writing here, is that this XY table is actually showing you your coordinate points. Remember, a coordinate point is X, Y, right? X comes first, Y comes second. There's so much shadowing. Okay, so this is actually the point -2, -2. This point is 0, 4, and this point is 1, 7. And so we're going to go ahead and plot that. And I have graph paper that I'm going to go ahead and plot this on. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and bring the graph paper over. Okay. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and copy these points here so that I know not to make a mistake, because you'd be surprised I make mistakes in these videos, and then you're probably going to be watching them. Well, actually, you'll probably be watching them with me, so then you'll tell me, but I should pick it up by then. Okay, so here's my XY table. All right, look, you need to graph on graph paper. All right, for those of you that have purchased it, fabulous. For those of you that you're having a hard time getting a hold of it, I will, next time we meet in class, I'm going to ask you about it. But I'm just going to make a class assignment. A class announcement. A class announcement. And then you're not going to have to answer me there. You could even type it into the Zoom chat privately and tell me that you need it. And then what I'm going to have is, as you enter the school administration office, how there's kind of like that little waiting room where there's the glass and you would tell them like what you need to do in the front office. I'm going to have a box there with little packages. I don't know if it'll fit in a Ziploc bag. I'll figure out what it's inside. And I'll have graph paper there if you want to come by and pick it up. Okay, but I'll talk about that next time we meet. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and plot this. That's why I just kept talking, to give you guys time to copy this. Okay, so here, this is your x-axis. This is your y, right? So notice x, y, you should label it. Okay, I have my increments, right? I have them incremented, like little dashes, right? See that? Okay, you should also tell me how you want them incremented. Is it by ones, or is it 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, or is it 5, 10, 15, 20, 25? What is it, right? You should tell me that. So there are details that do need to be shown here. Now, based on the first bits of assignments, I will spend a bit of time once we meet after that and show you graphs that are not acceptable that you're going to get docked if you submit them to me. Remember, you're in high school math. I want it nice. Now, if you don't have graph paper right now, you can use regular paper. Just grab a ruler. Hold on, I'm trying to slide it. Okay. And you could just, on regular paper, you can still make straight lines, or you could even, I'd say your ID card, but you can use your old ID card or new ID card, right? You want a straight edge. That's what a straight edge is. Make sure you have straight lines, and then you can still increment them, right? You don't need the graph paper. If you're super neat about it, you can do it on regular paper, okay? But it is nicer on the graph paper, and that's why I will offer it in the office for you to pick up, free of course. Okay, so here we go. We're going to plot these. Okay, -2, -2. So I'm going to find the x number, right? I'm going to find -2 on the x-axis, and that's right here. So here's my -2. The y value is -2. So that y value, the -2 exists on the y-axis right here. Okay, where do they meet? So from here, x equal -2, I'm going to drop down -1, -2, and that is where I will plot my point. Correct? Okay, next one, 0, 4. So when the x number is 0, right? This is 0, 0 for both. This is the origin. And then the y value is 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 0, 4 is right here on the y-axis, right? So there's my plot. And then 1, 7. So you find your 1, that's here, and then find your 7. So 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so here is 7. So the plot 1, 7 is 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you're going to first locate your first value, which is the x, right, contribution, and then from there you're going to shift up or down based on the y. If the y value is negative, notice we move down. But if the y value is positive, notice from there we moved up 1, we moved up. Okay, all right, so now that is my straight line, right? Now I only have one hand right now because I'm holding the phone, but I'm going to see if I can put my elbow, or actually I should have the cat help me out since she's not doing anything. Ah, see, look, that's terrible. Okay, not perfect. I should have just done it freehand then. Probably would have come out better. Okay, there is my line, right? Okay, your line needs to be straight. Okay, mine kind of, I tried to make it straight, right? So there. Okay, connect it, there's your line. Okay. I'm gonna go on to the next one, that's why I'm just kind of waiting. Okay, this was a really easy one, but now I want to talk about what happens when you are given a fractional slope. So see that 3/4? Okay, so let me hold it over so you can copy it. I have both lights on, but this phone just happens to be shadowing it for you. Let's see if I can bring it closer. Oh, there we go. Oh, better. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and graph y equals 3/4 x plus 2 using the xy table. Again, you're going to pick the, look at what she did. She sat on it. Okay, you're going to pick the 3 x values, and then we're going to substitute to come up with the y values, correct? Okay, so now this is what I want to talk to you about. Yes, you can pick -1, 0, 1, right? I'm not going to judge you based on your x values. That's not my job. But I do want to tell you, if you're not comfortable getting a fraction or a decimal coming out on the y side, at least right now because we're in the beginning, right? Okay, so the way you for sure ensure that you're not going to get decimals fractions here is look at your slope. So if I look at my slope, and I'm going to circle it, my slope is right here, correct? Okay, but in particular, where is my denominator? My denominator is 4. Okay, why does that matter? You want to pick multiples, and by multiples I mean positive and negative multiples of 4. And as long as you pick multiples of 4 here, remember 0 is a multiple of 4, then you will ensure that these y values are not fractions or decimals. Okay, so what I mean is you can pick 0 plus or minus 4 plus or minus 8 plus or minus, right, 12, 16, so forth, right? Now, the numbers do get larger. However, you will ensure that you will not have a fraction or a decimal on the y side of your xy table, which means you're not plotting fractions or decimals. Okay, but remember, if you have this calculator or a similar calculator, you can put a decimal fraction in there and it'll do it for you. So after I do these 3, I'll go ahead and throw in 1 and we'll see what we get, okay? All right, so I'm gonna pick, can you see? Okay, I'm gonna pick -4, 0, and +4. And then afterwards, I'm gonna plug in +1, all right, so that you guys can see the fraction that we're gonna get. Okay, so let's substitute. I'm gonna let x equal -4. So I get y is equal to 3/4 -4 plus 2. Okay, so why do we pick multiples of our denominator, right? Because when I substitute it, notice you have a multiplication here. You have a fraction times an integer, right? You have mx. You're going to go ahead and reduce here. So what is 4, right? 4 and -4 can reduce, right? 4 goes into -4, -1 time. And so 3 times -1 is -3 plus 2. And so I'm left with -1. And there is my nice clean integer answer. Okay, so now let x equal 0. Okay, well this one, 0 is always the favorite. I always love 0 because it was like an easy point you can come up with. Okay, any number times 0 is 0, so this whole thing is 0, and so you're just left with 2, correct? That's the beauty of 0. All right, so now let x equal +4. Again, 4 divides into 4 one time. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 2, and I get 5. And so notice I got all nice clean well, I'll hold it over so you copy, sorry. I got all clean integers, and I didn't get one decimal or one fraction. Okay, now let me just talk about the 1. So this is what, I'll still plot this one, but you guys realize you only had to pick 3 points. Okay, this one is just now what happens if you guys let x equal 1. Okay, if you let x equal 1 and say you don't follow this rule, and you're not obligated to, all right, what's 3/4 times 1? 3/4. And what's 3/4 plus 2? Okay, well then you're going to have to say, well, 2 is really 2 over 1, so I'm going to multiply by 4 so that I get 8 over 4, so I can get a common denominator, so I get 11/4, because 3 plus 8 is 11, 4, 4, right? If the denominator is the same, I can add the numerators, right? And so you get 2 and 3/4, right? Okay, which is the same as 2.75. So you're going to be a little bit before 3. So it's up to you. You can pick the 11/4 or you can pick the 2.75. Now, some of you are comfortable with this and you don't have a problem with it, so fabulous. Also, if you're using this calculator, students tend to just go ahead and what you see is what you type. So see this 3/4, 1 plus 2. Remember, hit the fraction, right? That's this. I was going to hit the negative, I know. Right? 3 down to activate the denominator, 4. Now, you want to get out of this denominator. You want to activate the numerator again, so you click to the right, right? So see down, right? Okay, so whoops. Okay, it'll move it along. All right, parenthesis 1 plus 2. And there's my 11/4, which I got here, right? And I also wrote there. Or you can hit the SD, and we love this button, right? I love the fraction button, and I love the SD. And if you click it, wait, SD, I get 2.75. So there's my confirmation that everything was done correctly. So you are not obligated to pick multiples of your denominator. If you're ever getting a fractional slope, look at the denominator, ask yourself, what's the number? I see a 4. Pick multiples of that denominator, and that way you're guaranteed integer y values for you to plot, okay? All right, so now let's go to the graph and let's plot these. But remember, these xy table, our coordinate points are going to be -4, -1, right? 0, 2, 4, 5, and we can go ahead and plot this still if you want, the 2.75, if you want to still plot that one, just so you can see it, right? So remember, these are your coordinate points coming off of your xy table, right? Okay, so I'm still going to, okay, so it says complete 1 through 4 on the worksheet, the PDF. I will show you that. Whenever we're in class, I'll always open it for you so you know what it looks like, but it's still attached to the video assignment, okay? Our graph on graph paper, so you could print this or you could just solve it on graph paper, but you must show work, meaning you must show this, okay? I realized I wrote mine horizontally moving forward. If you wrote yours vertically, stacked downward, you don't have to write it this way as just horizontally I solved it. You can solve it vertically downward. Okay, all right. So here we're going to go ahead and plot the points. Okay, so I have -4, -1, right? So -4, -1. I'm going to find, so here's my y-axis, here's my x-axis. I have it incremented. I have it stated they're by ones. Okay. So I'm going to find -4 on the x, -1, -2, -3, -4. So here's -4 on the x-axis, right? And then from there, the y value is -1. Okay, this is -1 right here. Okay, so from -4, I'm going to move downward 1 unit, and that is my -4, -1. Okay, the next point is 0, 2. So here's 0. Now 2 is positive, so I'm going to move up 1, 2, increments, and there's my secondary point, so I'm going to plot it. And then my next one is 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, find 4 on the x-axis, there it is. And now I'm going to move up 5 units, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's going to be my plot, but we could verify here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that is correct, right? It's at 4, 5. And then for those of you, now we're technically done, but for those of you that wanted to do the 1, 2.75, right? Here's 1, here's 2.75. It would be like right around here, which you can tell it's still going to be right on my line. So it's going to be good, okay? And again, oh, I'm going to be terrible at these graphs. I should probably have them pre-plotted. I should do all this work and then after slide a nice graph over to, I'll do it lightly. Let's see. Ah, now I got to anchor it. Okay, hold on. I'm going to move the camera. I'm going to move this. All right, here we go. Good enough. I lifted here. Okay, and so there's my graph, and it's nice and straight. Yes. Okay, so the worksheet you're going to complete, if I can find it, is it's going to be this one. So you can see you have fractional 2/3, fractional 5/2. So again, look at the denominator, see what you got. And then here's integer, integer. So actually, you know, the integer ones are 3 and 4. The fractional ones are 1 and 2. Okay, and then remember, you must pick 3 values for the XY table. I have to see the work. You have to show the substitution. Got it? Okay, 24 to almost 25 minutes. Okay, goodbye. And look at, she's falling asleep now. Yeah, we shall just take a nap. Okay, here we go.